Right there. There's one. There's two. Nina's standing, but I don't think she's standing because I rang the bell. Who else wants to stand? Should I say all rise? Welcome to the November 6th meeting of the Rotary Club of Tucson. Just forewarning, we have a jam-packed meeting today that's going to be an absolute blast. I'm going to try to get you out on time. If not, and you have to leave early, I'll let you go early. Unless you leave when I'm talking, then I'll be offended. We also have some special visitors joining us today all the way from Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. They may be at your table. Commander Adam Matthews, the captain of our very own USS Tucson, and several of his crew members. The USS Tucson is a Los Angeles-class fast attack submarine and the second Navy ship ever named after our city. The namesake relationship between the USS Tucson and our city has been recognized as one of the best in the entire Navy. So, and I'd like to welcome up TJ Juskowitz, joined our club June 13th, 2024, Community and Social Services. This little thing called El Tour de Tucson, don't know if you're familiar with it, perimeter bicycling, and he went to University of Florida. TJ.
Thank you, President Curtis. Please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I believe Chris has got a nice little song for us. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains majesty above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Well done, TJ. Well done. Please stay standing for just a minute. I'm going to welcome up Roger Harwell.
I'm sad to report that we lost our good friend Tom Willis to a long and courageous battle with pancreatic cancer. If you are unaware of his multi-year battle, you would not have guessed it from his strong countenance and wonderful sense of humor. Born in 1946 in Cheyenne, Wyoming, but he spent most of his adult life in California and later in Arizona. He held multiple degrees in economics and accounting, and his 42-year career was in CPA in California, Nevada, and Arizona, with a specialty in audits and tax consultation for public and private companies, nonprofits, and institutions. He served 8 years as an officer in the Active Army Reserve, assigned to a military intelligence detachment in California. His legacy includes distinguished service to the Tournament of Roses parade for 38 straight years, where he rose through the ranks as committee chair to director and eventually named honorary director. His big heart led him to a life of service. He was a multiple Paul Harris Fellow, served 2 3-year terms as treasurer of the Pasadena Rotary Club, and joined our club upon moving to Tucson. As much as he loved the Pasadena Club, he was most complimentary of the energy and joy that he found in this club. Would I have had the joy of knowing Tom had we not worked together on behalf of the car show? Not likely. The gifts of friendship and with remarkable people in this club is a gift that just keeps on giving. Tom is survived by his wife Arlene, 2 sons and 2 granddaughters. would you please join me in a brief moment of silence in honor of Tom Willis? Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. You may be seated. There's cards going around, and he requested no services. If you're wondering, there won't be a service coming. But he was a good man. More than that, he was a good Rotarian. Next, I would like to welcome up Jason Flax, who joined our club May 26, 2022, and he went to the University of Arizona.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Good morning, or afternoon by now. So in this moment, remember, you are capable of far more than you think. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, you're expanding your limits, you're building resistance, and opening doors that you didn't know were there. Remember, even small progress counts. Every small step you take is moving towards something greater. Trust the process, stay focused, stay patient, stay true to yourself, and just keep moving forward. You're capable of far more than you realize. Just take that one next step.
Thank you, Jason. Just one second. Next, I'd like to welcome up Kathy from J10, because we like to put our head down and keep taking one more step as a club, and every once in a while, people like to thank us for doing that. Kathy?
Thank you. I am so honored to be here today to thank all of you for your amazing support. In just over a few years, you raised, for Pima Joint Technical Education District, you raised over $778,000. It's incredible. Thank you for your generous gift. Your support is transforming students' lives, empowering local industries, strengthening our economy, and making a lasting impact on our community. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And next, to introduce our guests and visiting Rotarians, we have the one, the only Chris Dodge, or is it Yodge? Is it Yodge? Joined February 13th, 2020, Entertainment Music Tucson Jazz Festival, and he went to the University of Arizona. Chris. Okay, I'm going to run down.
All right, great.
Keep going.
So I'm going to lift this up because it's too hard to lean down. All right. We have a lot of guests here today, so I'm going to try to get through this quickly, but respectfully, so we can get to you all. So from some fellow Rotarian clubs, from the club in Hermosillo. How about this? Let's give it up say hello to Juan Carlos Quiros and Sergio Sujic. Where are you? Welcome, gentlemen. And from our friends over at Dove Mountain, I'm going to list all your names and we'll say hello to them. This is Susan Thorpe, Monica Ozost, Aletta Wiener, and Ann Huber from Dove Mountain. Welcome, guys. Thank you. Welcome to our club. And from Sunset Rotary. Ann's from Sunset Rotary, not Dove Mountain. Where's Ann? There you are. Hey, Ann. Thank you. Welcome to be here. Guest of Curtis Dawson. Say hello to Sasha Dawson. Hi, Sasha. All right. And everybody, you're always a potential member of Rotary. It's a great club. We have a great time here. We always invite you. Come on back as much as you would like. Guest of Mitch Pizik. As I say your name, stand up, wave real quick. We'll say hello to you, and I'll get on to the next one. So say hello to Alan Pressel. Hey, Alan. Say hello to Cam Norwood. Hey, Cam. Say hello to Blake Adam Hawk. Hey, Blake. Say hello to Roger LaFay. Hey, Roger. Hello to Dana Cooper. And Dana's a guest of Marcy's. Sorry about that, Marcy. I was going so fast. Guest of John Wong. Say hello to Noreen Wong. Where are you? Hi, Noreen. Guest of Chris Edwards. Say hello to Corbin Edwards. Hey, Corbin. Chris, guest of Monty Clausen. Say hello to Joni Clausen. Hi, Joni. Guest of Monty as well. Say hello to Carrie Foote. Hi, Carrie. Not that person. Oh, I got more. I got page 2. Here it comes. Guest of Luda Eisenman. Say hello to our scholar student, Alexia Patino. Hi, Alexia. Guest of Steve Pickering. Say hello to Thomas Gomez. Hey, Thomas. Guest of Doc Kret. Say hello to Michelle Spetnagel. Hi, Michelle. Guest of Ann Lancero. Say hello to Randy Schultz. Where are you, Randy? Hey, Randy. Okay. Now we have the crew of the USS Tucson, and I'm gonna list all of your names here, and please stand as I say your names, and we'll give you a big round of applause. So to the U.S. Tucson Captain, Commander Adam Matthews, U.S. Chief Derek Doan, from the USS Tucson, Lieutenant Thomas Reeder, Staff Sergeant number 3, Ishaq Alaman. And I'm going to get this wrong, so give me your rank afterwards because I don't want to. It's abbreviated, and I'm going to get it wrong. Mark, could you come up here and help me? Andrew Uffelman. Andrew, thank you for being here. And Zachariah Adamu. Zachariah, thank you. And VP of the USS Tucson 770 Club, Ben Buller Garcia. And is this is where we're going to do this, Curtis? You've been standing here a long time. So Curtis has a flag that we from the Tucson Rotary Club, and we do exchanges of flags when we have the opportunity. So here's a picture Moming taking. So this is here is the exchange of club tag with what group are we? Do we have, Curtis? From Camden, Maine. Oh, thank you. So, exchange of flags from Camden, Maine. Thank you for being here. Couple more. Scott Vaughn has brought Dave Silver with us again. Say hello to Dave Silver. And from Jerry Hollowell, jeez. These Gaham and Joan. There you are. They're the folks. Thank you for being here. And also, Michael Collins is here. Are you from Maine as well, Michael? Oh, look at that. Congratulations. Thank you, Michael. Last guest, Dan Calm, brought with us Wesley Source. Say hello to Wesley. Where are you, Wesley? Wesley, thank you for being here. That's it, man. Yeah, we did it.
So proud of you. Well done, Chris. And now we have some other special guests, but to introduce them, I'm going to introduce Mark Irvin, who joined our club March 7th, 2012. He previously was a member July 1st, 1993 through December 2009. Mark Irvin's Commercial Real Estate Services, Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas. He was club president 2021 to 2022. The floor is yours. Be good.
So when the program committee reached out to me and said, you know what, we don't think people really understand this whole city of gastronomy, what that means, how we got it, and what have you. Is there any way you could reach out to a couple of chefs and have them come? I picked up the phone and I made 3 phone calls. Carlotta, Janos, and Ken, and said, what do you think? They all 3 said yes. And then I asked various people, give me some suggestions on questions that we would like to ask. So without further ado, I guess I would ask Ken, Carlotta, And Janos, to come up, we have a separate table for each one of you, so you can be nice and comfortable with, it looks like some water at your thing, so if you get a little hoarse. So please come on up, if you would. Pick your table. By the way, while they're working their way up here, I think like a lot of people that are not from Tucson, I came here because my mom had moved here. It did not hurt that my mom has a taste for fine food and took me to probably every place in Tucson that you can eat that has great food. I think one of my first places that I went to was actually to Janos. And so Janos and I have known each other since about 1983. And I can't even tell you how many times that I've dined at his place. Carlotta and I probably met like an hour after that, probably in 84 or so, and have been great friends ever since. And Ken probably is the one that maybe people don't know as well as they should, but Ken owns Dante's Fire, and he also is a two-time Iron Chef winner. And these are probably three of the most creative people I know in that business. And I just wanted to say thank you for saying yes to coming and joining us. So have a seat, if you would. I've got a bunch of questions. I've got some questions that I think I'd love to have all of you touch on. And I have some questions that I'll probably just direct at one person. So Janos, we're going to start off with you, and I'm going to ask everybody to answer this question. In your mind, how do you think Tucson got the City of Gastronomy from UNESCO? And how many other cities like this exist in the U.S.?
So, I'm going to give you a little background on the designation about... You guys might want to check yours. Can you hear me okay? Am I coming through? Okay. So, the designation of a city of gastronomy, well, the cities of gastronomy are part of a larger network from UNESCO through the United Nations, the Creative Cities Network. There are hundreds of creative cities around the world in all sorts of different areas. So they run from literature to music to textiles to I won't be able to tell you all of them, but in actually seven different categories. One of them is gastronomy. All of these designations are given to cities that have, in their area of expertise, have something particularly special about them. It's not something that's bestowed on you. It's something you have to apply for. We applied for this designation for the first time in 2010. I was part of that application process. Did not get it that first year. We got it the second year, which we were then told, well, nobody gets it the first year. So why don't they just drop off the first year and let you start on the second? That would make a little more sense to me. But the reason that we got it was not because of all of the great restaurants that we have in town. We have great restaurants in town, but that's not the reason. It's not because of the great golf courses. Well, that'd be a good reason to designate us as for great golf courses. It's because of the unique gastronomic history we have here in Tucson that goes back 5,000 years. With, I don't know, from here, 500 yards from here, I imagine, not more than 1,000 yards here, sits Mission Gardens. On that side of Mission Gardens, by the bank of the Santa Cruz River, people have been planting, cultivating, harvest their food for 5,000 years. The Santa Cruz River is the longest continuously cultivated source of water in in North America. It's not because it's the biggest, that's for sure, and we know that. But it's because it's the only place in this harsh and arid environment that always had water, not every single year. And for 5,000 years, people have learned and figured out how to plant and harvest and grow their food, and the foods that they plant and harvest are the arid-adapted crops. Those are things from wild crop relatives, like all sorts of different cactuses, or cultivated crops like beans that are adapted and have adapted over 5,000 years to use a lot less water, because there's just a lot less water to be had. The people, so those are those plants are the survivors, but the real survivors are the 5,000 years of people who have gone and created lush gardens and gardens that always produce foods in those areas. They learned incredible techniques of agriculture, of water harvesting, of directing water and keeping water up on the sides of mountains, so as you for instance go up Tumamoc Hill, you can see where agaves have been planted and grown for thousands of years, and how they've carved out little places so they could hold the water in place, so that the agave could thrive. So this is really brilliant set of people who figured out how to survive in a harsh environment. They're the reason we have this designation of the city of gastronomy.
Second question, how many other cities in the U.S. have it?
It's around 50 now. So we're the first in the United States. There are now 2, San Antonio and Tucson. It was in the 20s when we got the designation. Now there are around 55, I believe, around the world. And we talk to them constantly. We exchange chefs. We have a chef ambassador program where we send, right now we're training a new cohort of 10 chefs to be our ambassadors, to go around the world and spread the word about gastronomy in Tucson to all over the world.
Carla, what did he forget?
He didn't forget anything. The one thing that we have to say is, without a doubt, we have here, and we've always had here, our Native Americans, and the fact that they have taught us so very much about how to take care of our land and how we should take care of it. And I must give credit to the gentleman right here, because none of us in this room would have even been aware today had Janos not picked up the staff to say, we're going to find out more about this. You weren't asked to be part of this. You are part of this. You are the conduit out there to discuss and talk with your friends about this wonderful thing we have, where we use foods from the desert 12 months a year. There is absolutely, we almost have perfect foods. We can take the bud of the cholla, right there. We can take the prickly pear. I think today you had a prickly pear chicken dish on our menu. And all those different food items came from the desert. And cultivating them really is just taking care of them, because they're already out there. And you need to know that it is a source to us in Mexican cooking. We use the penca, or the pad of the cactus, and it's called in Spanish nopal, or we make the nopalitos. And a lot of you think, oh, that's going to be terrible. I'm not going to like it. Well, my first cholla bud was with this gentleman here, and I thought, oh, what is this? Now I love them. And it's one of those things that grow on you. But absolutely, when you go to a city and you are traveling, and you want to find out about that city, you go to a restaurant that is part of that city's culture to learn about the people and the food. In Tucson, we have the same thing. In Tucson, we're not Phoenix, we're Tucson. And we are very fortunate that we can use food as a conduit for tourism. Now we have the Arizona Bowl, and now we have the USS Tucson. There are so many things to be proud of, but I want to tell you, the USS Tucson has a galley, and the galley is named El Charro Down Under. Now, if that doesn't tell you how important the foods that we make here are, the foods also that these wonderful young men are learning about and knowing about, and just extending this whole culture of gastronomy and what Tucson has to offer, is something that you all need to be very proud of. Now, what is it? Well, we have the sun, don't we? Yeah. And we have the cactus, don't we? And we have young chefs coming up who are taking from these two older chefs, and there are older ones out there that have a, aren't there? We're not the oldest,
I'm
are
not
we?
so sure about that.
We're getting to be that. Okay, well, anyway, we're heading that, we started a long time ago at that age, and now we're this age. But it is so much a part of our family life. And Janos has grandchildren, and I have grandchildren, and, you know, you're all getting ready to celebrate different holidays. And in those holidays, there'll always be a dish that was important maybe to Dad, and he may not be here anymore, or Grandma. And there's children coming to visit, and what are you doing? You're teaching and showing in your kitchen things that were very important to you. And the dried red chili, for instance, now can travel all over. You can go to any market, almost, in any big city, and go to the dry spice department, and you'll see all these different chilies. You'll see all these different spices. And I kind of stand back when I see this, and I kind of get the giggles, because I know that they all started by us taking care of our products here in Tucson and showing our foods to other people in other states and in other parts of the world. And we're not the only ones who have chili. And we're not the only ones who use cactus. And so, again, it opens conversation and dialogue. And there's nothing better, and I will tell you because it is coming up. We have tamales that are very important to our culture here in Tucson. And most of you have tried dabbling in some type of tamale, right? And using the masa. And the old thing and the old story is they are called tamaladas, where families get together to make them and talk about the foods and the culture. And now it is not a story that is not true. We have this thing where my family makes them better than your family. So here, you take some of mine and I'll take some of yours. And again, we are sharing. And in that way, we are spreading what we talk about, and that is being proud of what we serve and do, and using those ingredients, and taking care of our earth and our grounds and our fields. And there's no one that needs to add a lot of stuff to what we do, because it's so natural. It's there, the taste is there. And I think I got a little carried away with your question, but I am female, and I am a person that loves to talk about food, and most of us can sit down and tear apart something, but I will tell you that there's not too many dishes out there that we don't like, and I want to tell you that I've eaten at a lot of places lately, at banquets and lunches, and I thought today's lunch was really very nice, and I want to commend the people and the chefs and all the people who served us and say thank you to them.
Thank you.
And I think they did a great job.
So Ken, what did she forget? Anything you want to add to that?
Oh, I got a lot to add.
Good, you're the youngest, go.
Yeah. So if they will not continue to chastise me for my youth, I will return the favor.
Okay.
All right, so I am an expat. So I grew up in New Jersey and DC, and I came to this area on a joke of an interview at Tucson Country Club. And when I got there and I saw these beautiful red mountains and fauna that I had never seen before, I was like, uh-oh, I made a mistake. I'm never going back up. For me, the city of UNESCO designation is important, but for me, for different reasons. For me, this is a learning journey over getting all of these things that I've never had access to before. And when I got here, I had to go to 0 from 60. You know, I called Tajín Tajin the first time. I called Saguaro Sagoro. So it was trying to inundate myself in that culture, in these beautiful things that were completely foreign to me, and the fun and exciting journey that has been The City of UNESCO is important, but I think sometimes what it misses, and you touched on it a little bit, I've never been in a culinary atmosphere with such exchange of ideas and information through the ties to gut. And I tell you, back east, you remember the ACF, it's the American Culinary Federation, and you went to your meeting once a month, and you knew like a 15 or 20 chefs. Here, we're around each other all day. I must know 80 chefs in this town, and that exchange of ideas and cooperative learning is just so strong here, and I think that plays into a lot of who we are and what we are. And for me, it's about melding my particular geographical and emotional journey with my newfound home. We have a dish on the menu that has foie gras, and it's got a Nepali jam that goes with it, with toast dusted with eggs and chilies, which was something 15 years ago I wouldn't even know how to pick these things off a shelf. But being immersed in this community has just brought so many of those flavors to my palate that didn't exist before.
I absolutely love the relationship that chefs have, and I run into them all over town, and just love to see you guys connect and share ideas and what have you. And I think the highlight that I heard was that the SS Tucson's galley has been named in honor of a pretty special place here in town. So shifting gears, question, I'm going to start with you, Ken. What was the first meal you made for somebody?
First meal I made for somebody, I read this one and I was absolutely trying to remember, get the gears turning on that one. I think it was an anniversary. Okay, let's go with the really first one. The first one I did, I was a dishwasher, and my uncle owned the restaurant, and I was trying to come up with a special, so I did a cranberry lemon glaze, which consisted of country time lemonade powder, cranberry juice, cooked down with some chicken, and the first thing that 16-year-old does is taste it, burns his hand, and puts his hand in his mouth and burns his tongue. There's too much sugar in it. So that is the first bad culinary memory that I have, but it was definitely the first meal that I cooked in some sort of a quasi-professional.
Carlotta, I don't think you're going to be able to top that.
Oh, I don't know. Well, I was a brownie, and we had to make something and serve all the troop leaders in the Tucson area. And I chose a very easy dish, and at least I thought, but it needed to be actually cooked, and I hadn't counted on that part. So they got it raw, and actually they were very nice, and they acted like they loved it, and I got my badge, and 50-some years later, I did a event for the Girl Scouts, and I found my Girl Scout handbook and my Girl Scout cookbook, and in there, it was very much destined, and a very nice note from the brownie leader that I'd had previously, that she never knew the secret ingredient. And I wasn't about to tell her 50 years later that it had not been cooked. But sometimes mistakes happen, and they're for the good. But I want to go back on his comments. This young man, and he is young, and he did tell you about some of the things. One of the things that we do have here is that chefs do get along. But I look in this room and I see all of you, and I don't think any of you can call one or the other and not come to their aid if you could. And I think that Tucson still has that about it. I know there's people that call my son Raymond and he'll do something for them. Or we'll call Gary, one of our chefs. And not to mention, Janos, we have secret conversations going through different places and say, I need to talk to you. Okay, I'll text you and we'll get together. And it's true. And when you work together, you become something bigger than what people even know. And that's how the designation happened for Tucson. I think there were a lot of people working on it. And when it finally came to fruition, we were all asked to be part of it, and those that wanted to be just became part of it. And we're asking all of you to be part of it as well. And there's many events that we do over the years and this coming year. And one of the favorite ones that I love is the Fiesta de Maíz. And we just think that some of the things that Janos and Jonathan and other chefs have put together are really great. And then we have, you know, some of the things that you've been involved in, and you learn to use your local ingredients, and that's just wonderful for me to know that you've done that.
I love that. I loved your little story about brownies. My first brownie meal was my sister made tuna casserole, and she forgot to add the tuna, but that's a whole other story. Janos, could we talk about the hot dog with the Grand Marnier sauce? Could we go beyond that?
Whoa, I don't know about a hot dog with Grand Marnier sauce, and I don't want to know about that. But so you had a great friend who lived right down the street from us, and that's how we actually met, was at a barbecue. But I think I was doing Sonoran hot dogs, my version of Sonoran hot dogs, leaving out the Grand Marnier and the hot dogs. And
Here's a story. He shows up, he's making hot dogs on the grill, and it's like the great Janos is here, and he's doing hot dogs. So I'm like standing next to him like, so what are we putting on this? Is that like, what kind of sauce is that? Like this sauce? He's like, it's a freaking hot dog. Okay. Go ahead, Janos, I'm sorry.
Well,
so the first meal you made.
Okay, I'm the youngest of three. So when my brother and sister had gone off to school, it was just me and my mom at the house. And my mom, I think two of her favorite things were Frank Sinatra and cooking. And so Mom would put on Frank Sinatra and pick me up and dance me around the kitchen. And that was like my first sense of food, and it was food and love, and that just set me on a path. I learned more than food and love. By osmosis, I learned kind of how to cook. Wasn't thinking about it, wasn't trying, just whatever. So when my mom made, so this is California, right? So it was ground beef tacos and little crisp shells, and that was tacos tacos in our house. And my brother and sister wanted tacos, and Mom's not there. I said, I think it was like 5 or 6 or something. I've watched Mom make those. They hadn't. So that was the first dish that I made was tacos. I didn't know what the seasonings were that she put in it, but I knew what I liked. So I put all the stuff I liked, and they were damn good. They was pretty good tacos.
I love that. Well, you probably saw there's a book floating around that they've asked you to sign, all of you to sign, and Curtis will talk about it when he comes back up here. He came by and gave me a little kick and said, you're going a little over, so we've got like a couple of minutes. I have one last question. I got this from my pal Fletcher, one of the people I reached out to ask, give me like a question that you think would be fun. So this is a Fletcher question. So you all have been bad, and you've been sentenced to death. You're sitting there, and you have to order your last meal.
Oh, the last meal question.
What is it?
The last meal question.
Yeah, so you get a request for your last meal. What would you ask for? Janos?
That's really easy for me.
Okay.
That was my mom's leg of lamb. So, that was when we went to the grocery store to get a leg of lamb, and it was big, and you had the H-bone still on it, and you had all the gristle at the bottom of it, was like the absolute best part, and she would rub it in mustard and garlic and you wouldn't think of this, a little soy and rosemary, and rub that all over. She put a little tiny bit of flour that would sort of keep it all attached, and rub that all over the leg of lamb. And you don't need any mint jelly when you have that leg of lamb. That would be it. I would die eating that dish, thinking about my mom. That'd be pretty good.
Carlotta, what would you do?
I would have to say that I would want to have carne seca.
Carne seca. Love that. Chef, what would you do? Ken?
I would do some suspicious stuff now and then for crab cakes or soft-shell crabs.
Okay.
So I would suggest when that happens, if you would call me, and I'll come and I'll dine with you if that's okay. But that's probably as far as I will go. So I just wanted to say thanks for all three of them for coming by and visiting with them. They've been here in the past and have visited with us, and I think most everybody here knows these three chefs. If you don't, you've really missed out. and I've had the pleasure of dining with them for longer than I think we'll all admit. But I just want to thank you for coming and just kind of giving us your chef's perspective on how we got to be the city of gastronomy. We asked them to sit at separate tables so people could enjoy them. I'm sure we can convince them to stick around for a little bit afterwards to visit, but they all do have regular jobs to attend to. So with that, I would just like to say thank you and appreciate you being here on behalf of Rotary. Ben Bueller Garcia, thanks for bringing our pals with the SS here. Thank you. Curtis, back to you.
Thank you so much, chefs. And thank you for signing this book, My Magical Foods, which is going to go into our Make Way for Books library. Are you stalking me? I'm nervous. And which is fitting. I think last time we met, I said that we were going to auction off the next dinner with the president. Everybody remember that?
Yeah, well, we're going to do it right now.
All two of you remember, so that's fantastic. Cliff Bowman won it last time. I believe it went for
$1,000.
$1,000. And so you're bidding on dinner with the president, which isn't that exciting, but my wife will be there too, which is way better. It'll be for yourself and 5 other people. I will host it at my house unless you really want me to come to your house and cook. That means I'm going to be at your house for 6 or 7 hours, so your choice. I will bring...
Nobody wants that.
It's true. I will bring wine and everything else, and... You want to?
I'll start the bids. And you don't want me to be your chef, because being sergeant at arms is a hard job. Brittany and I have been killing it back there, and like it's just messy, guys. It's just telling you right now. Thank you for the, I have mucho respect for all the chefs in the room. And, so, including Chef Curtis, who makes great food, $500. Do we have someone who wants to do it? Mark's in for $500. So we have $600. We got $600 over to Jeff. You want to go 7? 700 to Mark. Do we have 800? 800 to Jeff. Let's go to 1,000 so we can just top what we did with Cliff last time. Do we got 1,000? 1,000 to Mark. 1,200? 1,200 to Jeff. 1,200. Do we have 1,300? Anywhere? Going once? Going twice? Jeff Ronstadt, sold to you. Thank you, sir.
We're not on. That one doesn't work. You broke it? Yeah, I broke it. Oh, I don't want to cook for you. I should have said some people aren't allowed. Will do. Thank you, Jeff. Next, we have some birthdays. To start us off, it's Mark Irvin. Joined our club March 7th, 2012. I just said this a minute ago. Can I skip it? Yeah. Southern Methodist, yada, yada, yada. Something you may not know about Mark. Well, most know fly fishing is a lifelong passion of his. It will surprise many that he is an accomplished horseman and has been riding horses for over 60 years. You're only like 50. How'd you do that? He grew up riding. He also worked for a veterinarian for 4 years during high school. He was a horse-focused in his practice. He went to farrier school in Oklahoma. He had planned to become a veterinarian too. Working for a vet changed his thoughts. And I know that you guys want more, so I'll give you more. He's also the back-to-back overall event champion of Charros de los Desiertos Cowboy Horse Riding event as both a first-year rider and second-year rider, a first in the organization's history. He is now a full-time member. Mark, here's your birthday minute.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done. Next, we have Walkie. Walkie joined our club June 19th, 2013. It's going to be okay. Joined our club June 19th, 2015. Her birthday was November 3rd. Real estate, land sales, WVR Realty, and consulting. Something you may not know about Walkie is she's an open book and everyone knows her. Walkie?
Thank you so much. Christian, thank you so much for being here since 2015. I met a lot of really, really good friends here, but I'm just an ordinary woman. I don't have anything that special. I just come from Indonesia, 1971. I was 22 years old. Now, I am 75 years old, so I am officially a geriatric.
Thank you so much, Waki. Next, we have some new members to introduce. So I'm going to ask Lee Olitsky, who joined our club March 21st, 2013, medical and healthcare, senior healthcare. It's all you, Lee.
This one's for Flynn. Hi. Before I say anything about our new member, I want to remind everybody what a great car show we had. Thanks, Sean and Jennifer. So we put all that effort in, and then we quickly forget what happened. So congratulations. It's my delightful opportunity to introduce Brian Crawford to the club. Brian's an accomplished financial advisor and the owner of Millennium Private Wealth. His expertise is in financial planning and wealth management. And Brian has been a valuable resource to our community, and I know many of you know Brian before he joined us in the club. Brian has spent 27 years in the financial advisory field, working for Morgan Stanley and Wells Fargo before founding his own company, Millennium, 2 years ago. Clients know him as a trusted partner. We are fortunate to have someone with his skill and experience amongst us. Outside of his professional achievements, Brian is deeply devoted to his family. He has been happily married to his wonderful wife, Lisa, for 25 years. Both Brian and Lisa are Tucson natives. How many natives do we have from Tucson? So, a rarity still. He's in Amphi High School and U of A grad. Lisa holds a master's degree from ASU, though we often joke that it's a topic. The single clap is usually there. His children are Cooper, 20, a junior at Whitman College, who plays as a backup point guard on their basketball team, and Addison, 18, a freshman at the U of A studying pre-med. Brian is passionate about all things Tucson and can often be found cheering on the U of A basketball and football teams for them, not on them, obviously. Brian is eager to forge meaningful relationships with our membership. He shares our commitment to service and is determined to make a lasting impact. He looks forward to sharing his skills, learning from each of you, and giving back to the causes that matter most. And finally, this is a free tip from our Millennium company, Brian. The safe way to double your money is to fold it over twice and put it in your pocket. Brian Crawford.
Put Brian in the middle. Brian in the middle. There we go.
Can't be in the middle because I'm making you shorter. There you go. Good job. Thanks, man. Thank you, Brian. Yep.
Thank you, Lee. And it was on the agenda to talk about the car show, so thanks for stealing my thunder. I'll fine you later for that. Next, we have Matt Blair, join our club April 2nd, 2009, art and design, printing and graphic design, Cirrus Visual. All you, Matt.
Thank you. I have the honor of introducing TJ Lightnin Juskowitz. You can ask him how he got that nickname. He was born in Jersey, grew up in Florida, and then lived in Iowa for 17 years, where he organized the RAGBRAI, if you've ever heard of that bike ride, before moving to Tucson and taking over the reins at PBAA, Perimeter Bicycling, which, of course, organizes El Tour de Tucson. He's married to his wife, Jody. He has a son in Iowa, and his daughter goes to the University of Maine. And he's been in Tucson for 4 years, 4.5, 5 years. He graduated from the University of Florida with a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in sports management. So a few notable achievements since TJ's been in Tucson. El Tour de Tucson in 2019 had about 5,000 cyclists, which is no joke. They were in financial hardship. In this year, 2024, we're going to have about 10,000 cyclists. And the organization's doing great. The El Tour is the biggest cycling race in America, and it attracts top pros like George Hincapie, Christian Vandevelde, Bob Roll. Like it goes down on. And I'm a cyclist, and I get weird. I don't get weirded out. I get excited by meeting those guys. 85 charities benefit from El Tour, and as of this year, they've raised $121 million for those charities. Given away 4,500 bikes to kids, and as TJ told me, the charity component of El Tour is what really attracted him to Tucson. He also started Tour de Zona, which is a 3-day riding event in southern Arizona. It starts and it finishes out of Sierra Vista. They go to Tombstone and also Bisbee. It's more of a social ride. And just restarted this year the Tour de Scottsdale. They had about 3,000 riders this year. The last time they had Tour de Scottsdale, they had 2,000 riders, so he already beat it by 50%. Couple other things you may not know about TJ. He caught 2 baseballs at Wrigley Field during the same game. No joke there. He worked at the Atlanta Olympics, Final Four, as well as football and basketball for the University of Florida. I introduce our newest member, TJ Juskowitz.
I'm going to do a picture. Do a selfie?
Wait, we got to go this way, guys. There it is. That's the cutest. Okay, that's so
Cute. I'm ready to do a raffle here, President Curtis, if that's all right with you.
I think it's time. Let's do it.
It's time for it. Let's do it. So we whipped it up, and I had Jim Wood pick the winning ticket, and I asked him to take one ticket because I didn't want him to have to count too high beyond, we know where he graduated.
He's not good with numbers. No.
So here we go. So take out your tickets. You bought one, and I have $55 in my pocket. That's going to go to you. So 782-332. 782. Hey, John! And, not that it matters, 10 of hearts, you don't get anything else but the $55. It's all yours. And it's fine time now, is it?
I feel like it's time for some fines.
Oh my gosh, this is so fun. It's a fun way to contribute to the club and to give recognition to wonderful people. He's not here right now, but you can go to the next slide. Sean Furrier wants to be fined because Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Center has won a Best of Tucson award for one of the best locally owned businesses in Tucson. So let's give a round of applause to Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. Thank you, Sean. And right over here, the next one, Tucson Appliance Company has won another award for Best of Tucson, Best Appliance Company, Best Locally Owned Business. Corbin Edwards, talk about that. You got 30 seconds.
Hello everyone, my name is Corbin Edwards of Tucson Appliance, son of Chris Edwards. And we're very honored to receive this award. I would like to thank our amazing team and to everyone who voted. We are very honored and proud to be a part of and to support this amazing community, just like Rotary. Thank you very much.
Well done, Corbin. And we have one more. Where's Chuck Sawyer? He's right over here, Brittany. Chuck Sawyer, another Best of Tucson winner, one of the best business, another locally owned business it's really for prints and ink and toner. Tell us about Cartridge World.
Just thanks to everybody here who works with us at Cartridge World. Kat and I appreciate your business. And we won, I think, 7 years in a row, Best Ink and Toner, and 5 years Best Place to Get a Printer or Copy. So appreciate it very much. Thank you all.
Thank you, Chuck. I appreciate you. I'm done.
Good?
That's it.
If they're not present, that means it's doubled. How does that work?
We had an emergency on the other one. So.
And speaking of the car show, Lee, which this is the next part should I just skip it? We had an incredible car show. I've heard from a reliable source, Peter Bayan, that we probably made some money, and we're probably going to give a whole lot of money out, but it was a fantastic day. The weather was amazing. Thank you to everybody who did so much, and especially to, where's Sean? Sean and Jen for leading the way. We appreciate you so much. And I'm going to welcome up Jen for the next part of the meeting.
Yes, please. Stare over my shoulder awkwardly. So real quick about the car show. You can't be a good coach without an amazing team, and the Rotary Club of Tucson is probably the best team ever, so thank you. And I have the distinct honor of announcing our slate of candidates for the Board of Directors for 2025 to 2027. If you are here and are on this very special list, please stand up and give a nice little parade wave to everyone in the room. Brittany Battle, Jen Delaney, Brandy Haga Blackman, Thomas Robertson, Alan Schroep, Jonathan Walkup. Now, we will be voting on this slate in 2 weeks, on the 20th. So you guys study, look at their references and all of their little bios here, and be prepared to vote. How many? 3 for the 3 of your choice.
Hey, Jimmy, since it's 3, I'll help you with that, because I know going past 1's difficult for you. He's been mean to me lately. He deserves it. Not as mean as Jeff, but still. We have some announcements. Yes, announcements are on your table. They are also emailed out. They are on the website. They are everywhere. So please just take the time to read it so you can stay involved. Next, service project deadline has been extended. Diana asked me to read this, so I'm going to do it so I don't get in trouble. We will extend the deadline to turn in service point sheets for working the car show until Friday, November 8th. That is this Friday. You get 1 point for each day of work. The goal is to get to 5 points by May to be entered into the raffle. There's some great prizes, an all expense paid trip to one of 6 guest ranches in Arizona or Montana, 6 other great prizes as well. So turn in your sheets so you can get credit and you get a chance to win. We do not have a meeting next week, but we will be having events around town. If you would like to host a lunch, please let myself or Dorina know so we can get it set up. If you want to go to a lunch, go to the website and sign up. Who's gone to one of the lunches around town? They are a blast. They are fun. I even went one time and Jeff was there, and I still had a great time, but he sat at a different table, so it was okay. Please ask you to host. Just pick a restaurant, make a reservation, let Dorina know where, what time, and how many, and we'll get it set up. It's a great time for us to connect for an hour or so as Rotarians. Next, we have some red badge selfies. Thank you for everyone who's continuing to take red badge selfies. We got Bob Morkin with Shannon Roberts. We got Jim Wood, Anna Greif, and Dan Kalm. And we also have Eric Lamb with Nina Trasoff, Bruce Tunzi, and Shannon Roberts. So if you see a red badge, whether it's at a meeting or around town, wherever it is, I want you to take, as Rotarians that have been here, and you have a blue badge, go introduce yourself, make a connection, make them feel welcome to our club. Next, where is Wilbur? Wilbur has been all over the place. Right here in this picture, he went with Anna Greif. He went on a trip to Nice and Rhone Valley in France. He enjoyed riding the trains, seen fancy cars. There are no wine tasting pictures, but let's just say he had so much fun, and Anna says cheers. Wilbur also went to his first Tucson Classics car show, and he had a fantastic time. I don't know if he volunteered much. I just think he just played. So he's there with Marcy and Diana. He's with the Arizona Rangers. Thank them for coming and being there. Our chairs, Jen and Sean. Wilbur was volunteering. He had a great time. Next, Wilbur is heading to Rome with Cindy Barbie. You can't really tell that from that picture, but it is the truth. I'm sure that's what's happening. He also went to San Diego with Marcia and Tim. Right, Marcia? Marcia and Scott? I'm finding myself $20 for that one. It's okay. That's $20. It's going to the club. I apologize. And Wilbur is headed to Bangkok, Thailand with Alan Rogers. So Wilbur has been all over the world. If you want to take Wilbur, let us know. They're usually here at the meetings. And if you do take a Wilbur, please bring him back.
So, Curtis, we have another initiative, and it's take Curtis with you to less pleasurable places. And go ahead, next slide there. So Mitch Pizik took this by the storm, and there he is in front of his doctor, and he's getting his colonoscopy. All of you should do that. Curtis came along. This is the actual one that came to the colonoscopy. I'll raffle it off. No, just kidding. Do we have another one of the there we go.
There it goes. That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah. So That's just a reminder, Curtis, of, okay, we're out of time. But
Hey.
if you want to take Curtis with you to something, there you go. That's a good person, a good hands for them to be in.
The choice is yours. I mean, those paddles, they are just the gift that keeps on giving. Yes, yes. And I'm here to serve, so.
You're welcome, Sasha.
Next, I'd like to welcome up Charlotte Harris, El Tour Ride to End Polio.
Before I give my announcement, I want to do a shout out. Dove Mountain is here selling their very special mugs that start out dark blue, and when you put something hot in them, it gets a picture. And Alita's showing that was a dark blue mug, and she's walking around with it. The funds that they raise from the sale of the mugs does go to their indoor ride to end polio. So they're selling them in the back. You can go after the meeting. Thank you. November is Rotary Foundation Month, a time to celebrate and support the life-changing work of our international foundation. Since the Rotary Foundation began, it has awarded more than $6.5 billion to help Rotary members transform communities locally and globally. Our Rotary Club of Tucson has been the beneficiary of those funds for special projects many times. The number one goal of the Rotary Foundation is the elimination of polio. Our district and our club's participation in El Tour, Ride to End Polio, and an indoor ride supports that goal. Our own Gary Hirsch chairs the District 5500 Ride to End Polio, which over the years with the Gates Foundation's 2-to-1 match has raised close to $70 million. Like Gary, our Daryl Stewart has been on the leadership committee since the inception of the Ride to End Polio these past 15 years. This year's El Tour has 50 Rotarians coming from many distances to ride, plus there are 10 Rotary districts having indoor ride events. On the screen is the page 19 in our November issue of the Rotarian magazine, promoting our own El Tour de Tucson Ride to End Polio. On your tables, you can find a list of the club members who are participating in El Tour and in our indoor rides. Many have been riding for 10 years or more for the polio effort, and we would like to see some new faces, and newcomers are always welcome. At this time, I would like those who are riding to please stand and to be recognized for their commitment. Thank you. With the joint efforts of the partnership of Rotary, UNICEF, and the World Health Organization, an astonishing over 3 billion children have been vaccinated with the polio vaccine, and an estimated 20 million cases of paralysis have been averted. This has happened over the past 3 decades, where we have reduced the number of polio cases in the world by more than 99.9%. But the polio campaign goal continues to reach 0 cases and wants to keep our promise to the world's children. The fight is not over, as exemplified by the young, unvaccinated boy diagnosed with paralyzing polio a few months ago in Gaza, where there had not been any polio cases seen in 25 years. Environmental studies of sewage in Gaza found 3 areas with poliovirus, where wartime fighting in those areas was halted, and the immunization of over 500,000 children took place, with their second immunization taking place several weeks ago. This isolated case demonstrates that when polio is found anywhere, it is a threat to children everywhere. In the report on the screen, you can see how the number of wild polio cases have risen this current year in comparison to last year, and our year has not ended. The increase is due to humanitarian crises and reduced access to healthcare services. These numbers today are still remarkable, as in 1988, between 350,000 and 500,000 polio cases occurred annually. Just as our club riders participate in the Ride to End Polio, each of us here can also participate by making a donation, encouraging a specific rider or several riders. All polio donations are matched 1 to 2 by the Gates Foundation for the polio cause. That means that a $100 donation from us becomes a $300 donation to support vital vaccine campaigns and healthcare infrastructure to help communities stay healthy. Directions on how you can participate are on the back of the side, these slides that are pieces of that are on your table, and please take one home as a reminder to support this effort. Whoops, sorry. As the slide on the screen shares, we need to advocate, donate, and educate to end polio now and forever. Remember, you can participate to save a child from polio and end polio now by supporting one of our riders. Thank you for your consideration and participation in this important event, and good luck to our riders. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte. Next, you already, go right ahead, just go. Yeah.
I'd like to invite, right here he is, the commander of the USS Tucson, or the captain of the USS Tucson, Commander Adam Matthews.
Thank you, good afternoon, and aloha! Hey, truly humbled to be here today with my sailors, and just know we're representing 175 sailors that are working hard out in Pearl Harbor that truly appreciate support like organizations and the leadership that organizations like the Rotary Club provide to your community. I don't want anybody in trouble, but I think there might be a fine situation. You said earlier that you had you heard that the Tucson namesake was one of the best in the Navy. Yeah. But I have a lot of CO friends, and I know for certainty that USS Tucson is the best namesake in the entire United States.
No, nice.
And I don't think you put a dollar value on that.
No.
All right, I'll get off the stage, but every single meeting that we have, every single gathering we have as a crew, we have a war cry, and I would like to just get off the stage with the war cry. So when I say bear down, if there's like to say Tucson, right, loud and proud, be just like we're back in Pearl, all right? Bear down.
Tucson. Thank you, Commander. I think we have a few Happy Jacksons.
We do. Brittany, why don't we start with you?
Hey, Chris Dodge and I are putting on a fundraiser on the 15th of November. It's for the Jazz Festival. You can buy virtual tickets because we're sold out. So buy virtual tickets. And we're also looking for a sponsor. We're looking for someone to help support this debut. It's never going to be a debut ever again, and it supports the Jazz Festival. So please, we're looking for you. My heart to you. I don't know how to thank Chris Dodge for what he's done for me personally. I have no idea how to showcase that to him. And so I'm asking you to support the Jazz Festival. Do that for me, for him, for everybody. Thank you.
Hey guys, I want to invite you to join me this Saturday, November 9th from 10 to 2. Truly Nolan's 6th annual community car show. And I have heard that someone we know and love is going to be singing the national anthem, and she's right back. All right.
Thank you, Bruce. Dan.
On December 15th, we're going to do the bell ringing for the Salvation Army. We have 34 places for people to come bell ring, 2-hour shifts. We have 6 spots left. So if you can come and sign up, call me, call Dorina. We'll be happy to put you down and get you to be a ding-a-ling that day. Thank you.
Well, thank you. We've made it to the end of our meeting. I want to thank you all for attending. Thank you all to our virtual guests that are watching us online. I hope you enjoyed it. Welcome to our guests. If you want to learn more about our club and how to join and be a part of the fun that we have, please talk to someone in the back, and we will, or you can ask me, but I'm just going to point you back there, and we'll help you learn how to join our club. Please donate to the scholarship clubs, the U of A and Pima Community College scholarships that we support as a club. Happy birthday, Mark. Happy birthday, Walkie. Welcome to the club, Brian and TJ. Great to see you, USS Tucson. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Ben Bueller-Garcia, for helping make that happen. Thank you to our chefs. Really appreciate you guys being here today. Fantastic. No meeting next week, so encourage you to attend an event around town. Again, if you want to host one, please let Dorina know, and we'll get that set up for you. It'll be a good time. November 20th, we'll be having Colonel Scott and Millis from Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, so please be here in 2 weeks for that. And I think we get to toast and adjourn. Jason, you ready?
All right, short and sweet. To good friends, great moments, and the amazing journey ahead. Cheers.